Let me start with a picture. Imagine you spent hours baking the perfect cake. You follow the recipe, or at least you think you did. You mixed the ingredients, you set the oven, you waited with expectation. But when you open the oven door, the cake has collapsed. It's burnt on the outside, raw in the middle, leaning to one side, and dripping batter onto the pan. Now, here's the truth. That wasn't a baking failure, it was a governance failure. Because governance isn't about rules. Governance is about sequence, clarity, timing, and alignment. And when those break, even good ingredients produce bad outcomes. Today, I'm going to show you why your life, your leadership, your business, and your relationship rise or collapse for the exact same reason that cake did. Every one of us is making something, a dream, a business, a relationship, a legacy. And just like baking, life has a recipe, a sequence, a structure. Governance is that invisible system behind every outcome. It's the part we don't see, but we always feel. When governance is strong, things rise. When governance is weak, things fall. You can have the right ingredients, the right intentions, the right goals, the right people, but if the order is wrong, the outcome collapses. Because success doesn't come from ingredients, success comes from governance. Governance is the oven that holds the heat. Governance is the timer that keeps the rhythm. Governance is the structure that protects the outcome. And when that structure breaks, everything breaks with it. Let's go back to the cake. Why did it collapse? Because the breakdown didn't start in the oven. It started long before that did. It started when the ingredients were measured wrong, the steps were out of order, the timing drifted, the instructions were ignored, the alignment was off. That cake didn't fail at the end, it failed at the beginning. And that's exactly how governance works. When governance breaks, misalignment shows up as confusion, broken sequence shows up as inconsistency, instruction drift shows up as chaos, timing failure shows up as missed opportunities, lack of clarity shows up as burnout, lack of accountability shows up as collapse. The cake is just a metaphor, but the collapse is real because every failure in life has a governance root. People don't burn out because they're weak, they burn out because their governance is broken. Teams don't fall apart because they're bad, they fall apart because their governance is unclear. Dreams don't die because they're impossible, they die because the structure holding them wasn't strong enough. Governance is the difference between potential and performance. Now, here's the good news. A collapsed cake doesn't mean you're a bad baker. It means you need a better system. When you restore governance, you restore outcomes. When you restore clarity, sequence, timing, alignment, accountability, everything rises again. Because governance doesn't limit creativity, it protects it. Governance doesn't restrict freedom, it stabilizes it. Governance doesn't kill vision, it strengthens it. When the structure is right, the outcome is right. When the order is right, the result is right. When the governance is right, everything rises. Let's go back to that cake one more time. It didn't collapse because the ingredients were bad. It collapsed because the governance was broken. And the same is true for life. You don't need new ingredients, you need new governance. You don't need a new dream, you need a new structure. You don't need a new identity, you need a new sequence. Because success isn't magic, success is governance done right. So here's my question for you. What are you baking? And is your governance strong enough to hold it? If you're ready to stop guessing, if you're ready to stop repeating the same collapse, if you're ready to build something that actually rises, then it's time to strengthen your governance. Let's rebuild your structure. Let's restore your sequence. Let's align your timing. Let's stabilize your outcome. Because when governance is right, everything rises.